Hey, what's up, y'all? And well, it's time to continue my head coaches tier lists. So today we are going to do uh, the ACC coaches. So we've already done the SEC and the Big Ten. So yeah. So I did but before we get into that, I did decide to make a bit of a change to what I was doing in these tier lists. So I decided that to add an F tier, be, because I was just putting too too many coaches into B tier, and I was just wanting to spread it out a little bit more because I'm putting like half the coaches or sometimes more into B tier. So I did decide to spread things out a bit and add an F tier. So I'm actually going to drop uh, Billy Napier and Clark Lee down to F tier, and I'm moving Sam Pittman and Shane Beamer down to D. And then I'm going to move some more coaches in C tier. I'm going to move Hugh Freeze and Mike Elko into C because, um, Jeff Levy, because he's a new coach. So I'm putting all like the first time coaches into C tier because we don't know what they're going to do. I did have put Hugh Freeze in C because his first year at Auburn was not very good, 6-7. Also putting Elko at C because even though he was good at Duke, I mean I don't know how he's going to do at A&M, so I'm putting Elko into C tier. But otherwise, I'm leaving everything else the same. All right, now I need to show you the changes that I'm making to the Big Ten. I'm going to put Ryan Walters in D tier because of his bad first season at Purdue. And I'm going to put Mike Loxley into C. I mean, he's been decent at at um at Maryland, but I mean, he's done nothing really spectacular. And then Matt Rule, I am dropping him down to C tier for going 5-7 in his first year at Nebraska. So okay, but anyway, so now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the ACC coaches. Okay. Right then, let's go. So we are going to start with Bill O'Brien. Yeah, the new coach of Boston College, and of course he is most well known for being the Houston Texans head coach. So, but pictured here was when he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Was not really able to find any pictures of him wearing Boston College stuff. So row below. Okay, I don't know why I'm having to. I already added an F tier row. Don't know why I'm having to do this again, but all right, there you go. Got an F. All right, so I am going to put Bill O'Brien in C because we don't know how he's going to do as a college coach, so head coach. So anyway, I actually do have Brent Key, and I'm also going to put him in C. I mean, he did do a good job in his first year, 7-6, uh, won a bowl game. So if he can keep it up, he'll be moving it into B soon if he can continue to improve. So, and then here we have Brent Pry, also putting him at C. I mean, he did improve greatly from year one to year two. Virginia Tech did make a bowl game last year, and I think they won it too. So, and now, a lot of people are have Virginia Tech picked, to be a dark horse uh, in the ACC. Yeah, they could be a real surprise team. So, but we'll see. And then next up, we do have Dabo Swinney. I'm going to put 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 him into S tier. I know that might be a little bit um, controversial, but huh. But yeah, yeah. I mean, the mic looked weird for a second, but I thought it might be dented, but I think it's okay. Anyway, still putting Dabo in S tier, even though he hasn't really won that much lately. But of course, he does have the two national championships and like was it the so you have six or yeah, six playoff appearances and the two national titles. So I I I mean I am uh still giving him yeah, and he has a bunch of ACC titles. So I mean, yeah, I'm still giving Dabo the S tier. So next up we do have have Wake Forest. I mean, Wake. Wake Forest usually not very good, but I mean, Wake Forest has actually been been decent under Dave Clawson. Usually like seven. You know 6-6, 7-5. Or 8-4 every year. I mean the occasional. You know. Um, 10-win season, and I mean anyone who can get Wake Forest to 10 wins. Was it 2021? They were like 10-2, right? Made it to the ACC title game. So yeah, even though last year was a bit of a down year, but Wake Forest did lose a lot off of a loaded team. So uh, I'm not gonna drop him down just for one bad year last year. So next up we do have Dave Dorn, and I'm also putting him at B tier. I mean, he's been pretty successful at NC State. So But anyway, so now next up, let's keep things moving. We do have Fran Brown, a first-time head coach at Syracuse. Of course, previously he was Georgia's defensive backs coach. So yeah, but I'm putting him at C tier. Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do at Syracuse. So up next we do have Jeff Brom. He's also going into B tier. I mean, he was pretty good at Purdue. One of the best coaches in Purdue history. He brought them to heights they hadn't seen since Drew Brees was in college at Purdue. So I mean, going 8-4, 9-4 with a bowl win. I mean, is a pretty big deal at um, at Purdue. So anyway, so last year at Louisville, you did really, you took the ACC by storm, going uh, um, by winning 10 games. So anyway, yeah. So now next up, we do have Justin Wilcox. I'm going to put him at D tier. I mean, he's been at Cal uh, for years, and he has a losing record. Only had a couple of winning seasons. So I'm going to put Wilcox in C tier. Yes, Cal is one of the new teams in the ACC. Next up, we do have Mac Brown, and I am going to put him at B tier. I mean, yes, he did win a national championship at Texas 19 years ago. Yeah, so nobody really cares. I mean, in 2009, he did take Texas to the title game, but after losing to Alabama, they were like terrible the year after that, like 5-7, and then he's never really recovered. Got fired from Texas a couple of years later, and then went into retirement, and then came back. So I mean, for what he's done at North Carolina, I mean, it's been pretty decent. He did go to like a New Year's Six bowl in 2020, so and I mean, they were like good in 2022, and they had like Drake May. So yeah. But anyway, and then next up we do have um, Manny Diaz, aka Handy Manny, and yeah, I guess I am going to put him in C tier. I mean, he did get he got fired from Miami, so then he was the Penn State DC, but now hired by Duke. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling with where to put him between B and C. I guess I'll put him at C. Now here we have Mario Cristobal. I am going to put him at B. I mean, even though at Miami he hasn't really done any better than Diaz, but I mean, he is recruiting at a much higher level than Diaz was, and plus Cristobal did have some success at him at Oregon. So anyway, in, anyway, now next up we do have Mike Norvell, and I'm going to put him at A tier. I mean, first he was very successful at Memphis, right? He did take Memphis to a, a New Year's Six bowl. Before being hired at Florida State, and then it was rough at first, having to rebuild from the end of the Jimbo years, and of course the mess that was created by um, Willie Taggart. But I mean, he's built them on up. I mean, an undefeated regular season, ACC champions, right, 13-0 before getting snubbed out of the playoffs, and then and then and then the whole team quit and getting annihilated by Georgia in the Peach Bowl, but 63-3. But I mean again, it's not his fault that they got left out of the playoffs, and also not his fault that the team quit on him. But anyway, next up we do have uh, Pat Narduzzi, and he is going into B. I mean, he's normally good. I mean, normally puts together a good team at Pitt. I mean, usually like around 7-5 or 8-4. Usually, yeah, they're usually a team. Yeah, they're usually a bowl team. Of course, a couple of years ago, Pitt did win the the ACC and won like 12 games, but yeah, 11, 12 games, something like that. Anyway, and won the ACC when he had Kenny Pickett. So Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison. So anyway, next up we do have Rhett Lashley. So I'm going to put him at C, even though SMU was pretty good last year. Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, SMU they were a contender for like the to go to like the New Year's Six for the Group of Five, and they almost won the AAC. Right? Didn't they like lose in the championship game? Anyway, I can't remember, but anyway, but SMU was really good last year for a Group of Five team, so that did make me almost want to give him a B tier. But then, of course, I remembered how shit my mic got muted anyway. Even though um, SMU was really good for a Group of Five team last year, they did lose to Boston College as a 6-6 Boston College team in their bowl game. So, yeah, not a good start, to being in the ACC, but anyway, next up, we do have, Tony Elliott, and he's going into F tier. I mean, he's won 3 games in both of his first 2 years. He has 6 games in his first 2 years. Um, Unacceptable. So, F tier for Tony Elliott, the former Clemson offensive coordinator. And then up next, we do have Troy Taylor, the Stanford coach, now in the ACC. And, and and of course, last year, yeah, of course, his first year at Stanford was a disaster, going 3-9. But I mean, Stanford is rebuilding. I mean, he's got quite a mess to clean up from the end of the David Shaw era. I mean, I, what happened to Stanford? I mean, they used to be so good under David Shaw, perennial top 10 team. Well, until the last few years of Shaw's tenure, I mean, they just completely you know collapsed, and then just couldn't win anything. I think they haven't been to a bowl game since 2018. And so, uh, but anyway, yes, that is going to be the end of this tier list. So, all right, so that is going to be it. Uh, Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.